yards for Rice. 2 turnovers by Texas. They're -1 in that department. Mac Brown won't like that. They're at 50% on third down. Rice is not converted on third down. Everything you would expect is in Texas's favor, and that's why the scoreboard is 42 points in their favor as well.
Individual leaders for the Longhorns. Now, Vince Young did not have to put it up that much. The ground game was that much in control with Jamal Charles early. David Thomas leading the way with 4 receptions. The tight end who's 5th all time. And in fact, 1st all time in touchdown receptions by a tight end. But again, Vince Young making it look easy directing this offense.
And he is special. And so calm, so poised, cool, calm, and collected out there. And Rice had it defended well. That was a 3rd and long. And they have everybody covered, but Vince Young says, I'm going to create a play with my feet. Now here he is, defensive lineman closing in on Gordon. He knows he has another gear, and he saves a play. Then he tries to get the ball down the football field, and he does. Very accurately with a lot of velocity to Lima Swede. So Vince Young can run it, can throw it, and does both of them exceedingly well. Obviously, a Heisman Trophy candidate.
We are now underway in the second half. The short kick is going to be taken by Marcus Knox at the 6. A little bit of a lane closed in a hurry going across the 20. Up to the 25-yard line. Down we go, Jim Knox.
Rice has given 105 points up in 6 quarters. 63 to UCLA, 42 in 2 quarters to Texas. That's not going to get it done for you.
Joel Armstrong at quarterback. Quentin Smith weaving his way out of the backfield. A couple of nifty moves to get 7 on first down. Brought down by Michael Huff, who had an incredible first half. But still a gain of 7 for Smith. As Ken Hatfield told us earlier in the week on the telephone, he said it's all about the conference schedule. This is their first year in Conference USA after 9 seasons in the WAC, and they want to build. They just want to grow game by game in the non-conference schedule. But you're right, defensively, a lot of room for movement.
Exactly.
Armstrong, good cut. Man, he's got a first down before he's brought down at about the 39 by Michael Huff once again.
Drew Kelson did a good job of taking away the pitch man, but out of the alley, Huff was late to the quarterback, and Armstrong read it, turned it up the field, kept the football, and generated a first down.
And even up 42-0, I wondered if they were going to have the first team defense out there. They are out there to start the second half.
Absolutely. And Ken Hatfield was looking for more improvement, quite frankly, Joel. Like he said, he mentioned during the course of the week, most improvement usually from week 1 to week 2.
Armstrong with a cushion on the outside, the completion for a big first down. And Aranda's got it, the senior from North Zulch, Texas. We talked about him. He almost had a big catch inside the 10 on a desperation throw by Armstrong.
Armstrong threw the ball very well, and really, Aranda made the catch on it and was separated from the football. This time he does a good job of catching the football and then turning inside for positive yards, shedding Cedric Griffin in the process.
So on his first completion of the game, as Armstrong is now 1 for 5, he finds Nick Aranda, who walked on last year after coming to Rice to play baseball. Man, they're in Texas territory. The second tailback, Marcus Rucker, the junior from Magnolia, Arkansas, brought down and dropped by Roderick Wright. But we have not talked about Roderick Wright all that much tonight. His number has not been called.
No, but he's done a pretty good job of stuffing his gap responsibility, because Rice has not been able to generate any yards inside. The damage has been done on the option at the perimeter to the pitchman. The inside part of the option has been sealed up pretty well by Wright, Oakham, Dibbles, those guys.
After the gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Clement in there with a bullet, but they can't hang on to it as he was trying to get it to Tommy Henderson.
And really, Rice, they scored 21 points against UCLA. They moved the ball pretty well. They had a 14-play drive for a touchdown, and this one just off the fingertips. The play was there. Clement just led it a little bit too far.
Yeah, 14 did come in the 4th quarter, though, after the game was already out of reach. UCLA did back it up, though, with a win over Oklahoma today, 41-24.
Well, UCLA took a lead. Rice goes 14 plays, ties the game up 7-7. I mean, they came right back after him.
Armstrong back in the game on 3rd and 6. The pitch. And Once again, Michael Huff taking care of Marcus Rucker.
Got to go for it here.
Well, they went for it in this situation, but a fourth and a real long one. That's where Armstrong put it up for Aranda downfield on that fourth and about 20.
I don't think there's any reason to punt here, obviously. And if your field goal kicker doesn't have 55-yard range, I think you got to go. You're down 42 points. I don't think there's any question.
So they will go for it on fourth and short. It'll be 4th and 3. Need to take it inside the 34. Tight formation. Henderson going to get to the marker. Huff again. Boy, was that Huff series?
Man.
In a minute and a half. Man, the offense is back on the field.
He not only huffed, he puffed, and he blew Rice's offense apart right there. I mean, he's already scored a touchdown tonight. He's the one that was the beneficiary of the fumbled pitch in the option, and this time Kelson's there to make a play on the quarterback, and Huff is there to make a play on the pitch man. That's what you have to have. You have to have all the responsibilities covered. Kelson did his job. Huff did his. Coach Chizik likes it. That's like a turnover. You force a 4-down situation, get the football back. That's like a takeaway.
Well, Vince Young, he is going to start the second half at quarterback. Charles on the blitz pickup. First catch of the night. And a good move after the catch by the wide receiver on that side of the field for the Longhorns. And it was taken in by Quan Cosby, actually. Cosby, a true freshman from Mart, Texas.
And I'm impressed with the blocking that Pittman does down the football field. Pittman really stays after it and sustains his block on the perimeter.
So after the gain of 7, it'll be 2nd and 3. Charles waiting for the block, and he got it. You liked that block, didn't you? Big gain. And the block that you're hearing the wow was Justin Blaylock, the right tackle, who just smothered and engulfed a man.
He really did, and the offensive line is playing so well. There's no surprise with respect to that. That was a mismatch in Texas's favor, and the coaching staff feels that it's a mismatch every week. This offensive line is as good as there is in the country.
Now Jack Links.
Most rushing yards
by a freshman.
And is that including that last rush? Okay, that's including the last rush. Boy, he's closing in on it rapidly.
Charles in the backfield with Young. It's a matter of how long is he going to be in the game. Over the middle, low throw and a good grab. David Thomas went down to get it. Well, he had 4 grabs last week. And for Thomas, that is his 5th catch tonight.
And he is a weapon that Vince Young is going to be going to a lot this season, because you have to figure defenses with Charles and Young in the backfield and all that speed. Linebackers are going to be consumed by those guys. Thomas could be a big beneficiary. I mean, a little play action to him in front of the linebackers that have vacated that area behind them and in front of the safeties, he could be large.
Charles. Man, coming up was Adam Herron to submarine that play in a hurry. The senior from Salina, Texas. His 3rd year as a starter.
Herron is the emotional leader like we talked about. He doesn't care if it's 42-0 or 3-0. He plays with the same intensity, the same emotional level. He's the guy that drags his teammates up by the bootstraps and says, let's keep going.
They led the Owls in stops last year, led them in tackles in the opener against UCLA. They're down here 42-0. 2nd and call it 9. Good pass protection for Vince Young, and almost ended his interception off the deflection. First deflected by Andre Downs, and then picked off by Justin Apt.
And he had Charles open. Vince had Charles open in the right flat, and he has to make better decisions than this. This is the fly in his ointment. His touchdown to interception ratio is too high. Throwing into where 3 defenders are in the vicinity, you can't force that. There's no reason to. You have a guy like Charles wide open between the hash marks and the numbers to the right side of the field. Check down to him. It wouldn't even been a check down. It would have been the way he ran his route. If the ball's completed, it's the first time down before he even does any yards after catch. Now in this nice stretch of games that Vince has had, 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. You can't try to be Superman every play. When the defense has it defended, don't try to force it.
The Rice keeping their own territory at the 3.
Being reviewed.
Now the booth review to see if the sophomore from San Antonio came up with it cleanly. Justin Apt after the deflection by Downs.
This will be the 5th game in his last 8 where if this does hold up, Vince Young will have had a 2-interception game. 5 out of the last 8 games. Now he's had the miraculous, fourth quarter comebacks in 2 of his last 3 games. It's been the last drive where he's won the football game, and that's all unbelievable stuff. But to have 5 of those 8 games where you've been on a roll, to have the multiple interceptions in 5 of those games, that's a sign of him still trying to force it too much and not taking what the defense is giving to him.
You can't be Houdini all the time and
Exactly.
escape all the time. And that's what they're going to have to worry about down the road. And you talked about it, reading your progressions as a quarterback. And then if it's not there, it's taken away, your option was available.
Yeah, no question about it. His option was available, and his option's been good to him. Charles has been very good to him catching the football out of the backfield and running the ball.
Well, did he come down cleanly with it? Watch downs, number 2 deflected first. And then Justin Apt.
Oh, boy. Now, he has possession. As he's sliding, he changes hands with the ball. And when he changed hands, that's right, he pinned the ball. Didn't have his right hand under the ball when he changed hands. And I want to show you what I'm talking about here. Watch Charles, and watch what Charles does, where he goes. And if he comes back in screen, look at how open he is. Are you kidding me? There's nobody within 10 yards of him. And Vince tries to force it down the football field with 3 guys are in the area. And Charles was there for him. And that's what I'm talking about. Get him the football, move the chains, live for another play.
And you have somebody as dangerous now as Charles, who caught 6 balls last week. And Mack Brown, as we sat down with him again yesterday, he said the one thing he's way ahead of the curve on, he's got great hands. He can help us out of the backfield as a receiver.
And you know what he can do also, Joel? With his ability to make the cuts that he makes, I mean, he can go laterally as fast as he goes north and south. He can get in and out of cuts. When he runs routes, the more and more routes he runs, the better he's going to get as a route runner making cuts.
The pass was incomplete. No interception.
No interception, so Vince Young lives for another day. It's 3rd down.
That's a break.
Yep.
And that's because it was pinned.
Right. When he changed hands, didn't have control of the ball as a result of changing hands, and the ground helped him secure the football. He tries to change to the right, and the ground helps him secure it. He would have been better off just wrapping the ball with 2 arms.
Or keep it into the left arm where he already cradled it.
Yeah, he had possession. When he tried to switch hands for possession for whatever reason, because you can't get up and run it, he's down. In college football, when your knee's down, you're down. So why he was changing hands to try to put the left hand down to get up to run didn't make any sense. Just cradle it with 2 or keep possession with that left hand.
So instead of Young's 2nd interception of the game, give him another attempt and incompletion. He's 8 of 14 for 101 yards.
That works for the coaches because it's not an interception. They can still coach him up to what he did wrong.
So on 3rd and 9, Young, corner of the end zone, Limas Sweed, and just out of bounds. What concentration again by Sweed. Wow.
Vince Young is he's starting to really trust Limas Sweed. There's some trust, there's some belief that they can make plays. And at 6'5", look at the mismatch.
Does he get a foot?
He's hard to guard. Ooh, that right foot, they may have to review that. Possession, right foot in. Possession, right foot in. Is it a touchdown? Right foot was in, left foot obviously wasn't.
Did he have possession, though?
That's the key. Possession, full possession, and right foot in. That may be reviewed as well. That's close enough to review.
Well, there's going to be a timeout on the field. Texas is taking it.
And I think they're saying take more time to look at this one. Max saying, let's review this, hopefully.
We'll find out when we come back. Almost 5 minutes gone in a slow start to the 3rd quarter. This one at 42-0 early in the 3rd quarter.
A couple of familiar-looking faces right there.
Yes. Our producer's wife, Bob Steinspelt, director Phil Monica. And they look like they're natural Longhorn fans. Pino for the 40-yard field goal attempt. And David has it.
I'm glad Steiny's son looks like his mother. That was a nice boot right there.
So Pino, 4 of 4 on his placement so far.
He has been deadly. Did Limas Sweed have possession? It was reviewed, but the replay official, he wanted to take a look at a couple of angles of this. Limas Sweed catches the football, left foot or right foot in. Does he have possession? Does he have full possession before he goes out of bounds?
I think it's a good call. Actually, you saw him bring it back like he didn't have it completely under control.
I think whatever was called on the field would not have been reversed. It's one of those deals where it's not indisputable either way. You know, the official's right there. He's making the call. He sees more than you can even see in the replays. So it was, hey, we're going to go with what the officials see down there. Just that little hesitation, those false steps prevented Sally from getting there quickly enough to make a play on the football.
Downs over to the far side, knocks over to the near side. And it's going to be Greg Johnson kicking it away once again to the Longhorns. 45-0 Texas. Downs will bring it back. Nice move to the outside to get it across the 25. Takes the shot late. That'll cost him 15.
Yep.
That'll take it out to the 43.
Yeah, that's in that 5-yard white area you see out of bounds. And once you get in that white area, you have to be smart enough to know, look, I'm off the field to play. No more popping. Got an injured Longhorn at about the 18-yard line, but he is on his feet.
I think you're going to see a lot of guys in this kind of heat and humidity cramping up at the second half.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully that's all what's taking place here.
Nick Redwine. Good idea later. Defensive end and linebacker.
Oh boy, he's needing help to get off the field pretty big. Now you get into this white area, you got to know to pull off right there. It's this big 5-yard white area.
How big is it?
5 yards wide. Got to stay away from that. Any contact in there.
After the play, a late hit on number 97 of the kicking team. Penalty is 15 yards. First down.
Yeah, I think
that's the kicker.
But
does he have some nerve
going on here? I think.
Greg Johnson, the kicker. Jim Nye shot though, Dave. That's an angle I didn't need. Quentin Smith across the 45 to the 46, a gain of 3. Noxie, we love you. Aaron Harris in on the hit.
And Aaron Harris wanted to play at a high level last week because A.J. Hawk and Bobby Carpenter, 2 All-American linebackers for Ohio State that played like All-American linebackers.
Did they?
And Harris wanted to make an impact, and he did as well. He played very, very well. He had 9 tackles in the Rose Bowl against Michigan and stepped up and played well last week again against Ohio State. He can play some linebacker.
And then Kelson forced the fumble to seal it all up.
Nice.
Almost picked by Huff. Yeah, all of a sudden the wide receiver is a defensive back on that play. Michael Huff almost with the pick. Nick Aranda, the intended target. Actually, Moss was out there.
Got to reverse roles on that one, as you described, Joel. And Huff does a pretty good job here. The release, clean release off the line of scrimmage. Huff reads it. Huff goes airborne. Great route anticipation there. Jumps the route. And boom. Now you got to play defensive back and try to strip the football and get your arms up in there and make a play on it.
It's 3rd and 8, and Huff was in a real vulnerable position when he got popped. Dillard, great grab. He was thrown a bit behind him. Terrell Brown on the coverage. And a super play by Jarrett Dillard.
You're right, Joel. If that ball is out in front, Dillard may score. He has to reach behind him and make a play on the football. Clement just lays it out there a little bit further. That's just a tremendous reaction to the football. Brown is beaten in coverage. Dillard that time to totally spin in midair and still be able to catch the football is special.
That's Rice's first 3rd down conversion of the game. They're now 1 of 9. Armstrong in trouble, buying some time and off the fingertips of the defensive back on that side. Almost a pick for the Longhorns. And back there, it was Cedric Griffin.
There's a flag
senior
thrown
from Holmes High School in San Antonio.
There's a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is.
Boy, Armstrong shows some zip, doesn't he?
Yeah, he definitely, he's aptly named. He's got that strong arm.
Against the Longhorns.
Well, here's where the Longhorns buckle their chin straps, you know, the scoring zone, the red zone. They don't let people score touchdowns. It's remarkable. Ohio State couldn't do it. Louisiana Lafayette couldn't do it in week 1. Ohio State couldn't in week 2.
Pass interference on number 8 of the defense. The penalty is 50 yards from the previous spot.
It's called
and it's an automatic
against the 4-year
first
starter who tried to get the pick, Cedric Griffin. That's a tough call.
Now 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. And this is where Texas is tough, Joel, because the field's compressed and they are so fast. So holes that you think might be there throwing the football aren't, because they can recover and react to the football so well in tight quarters.
Deepest penetration of the game for the Owls. Armstrong on the pitch. Henderson dumped again by Griffin.
Yep.
Boy, Griffin, the two safeties, and Huff have had phenomenal nights.
Griffin in the alley, free safety, has to make the play. He's one-on-one in the pitch, man, and he's made the play. Now you have to be careful about the little play action pass here and getting the ball over your head. But it is tighter quarters here to convert that type of look. You know, Mac Brown ran the scout team this week. He had some experience running the option in his prior coaching career and stops, and he ran it this week.
Armstrong trying to get it to his man Dillard, who was all tangled up with Griffin, who's drawing flags again. So it's going to be, you can call it a hold, you can call it an interference. Either way, it's going to be half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, it's definitely on the street you get arrested maybe, but this one, Kenny Hatfield likes what he's seeing here. It could be another fresh set of 4. Dillard's fairly capable as a receiver. I mean, he looks the part. He runs routes pretty well.
Redshirt freshman out of San Antonio, Jared Dillard, at 6', even 175 pounds.
Griffin's saying, I have a right to that spot on the field, but you can't run through a guy to get there.
He's got plenty of family here, I guarantee you that. San Antonio less than 90 minutes away.
Holding is the preliminary call on Texas. So it'll be another first down.
Holding by number 8 of the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal, and it's an automatic first down.
Yeah, let's see how they got tangled up.
Now, Texas wants to pitch a shutout here, and that's definitely a hold. I mean, left hand all the way across the chest and across the face mask, locked on the shoulder pads, well before the football's there. Got his money's worth.
You know, we were talking about our friends in San Antonio that's provided a ton of talent for these two teams we're watching tonight, and they just signed talent in the offseason. Boy, it's going to be a quiet year, another home year for these guys, aren't they? Michael Finley, Nick Van Exel, right, both going to the defending champions as the rich get richer.
Nick Van Exel might finally get that ring that he's been craving. Long career in the NBA.
So first and goal inside the 7. Now, what an offseason for the Spurs. Fullback goes nowhere. Andrew Cates, the junior from Atlanta. Dropped by Aaron Harris, who you were just talking about.
Now I wonder what Kenny Hatfield will be thinking way ahead here. Is this 4-down territory, or do you kick the field goal to get on the scoreboard? It'll obviously be predicated by how many yards you have to go if you do get the 4th down. Kenny Hatfield calls the plays. He does have an offensive coordinator, Scott Wackenheim, but he does call the plays. Make no mistake about it.
Second and goal. No gain on the carry. It comes from the 7. Armstrong on the pitch with Quentin Smith. Gang tackling. No gain again. And it was, guess who? Michael Griffin.
Boy, look at how many orange jerseys were around that football. Are you kidding me? You talk about running to the football and gang tackling. Griffin got there first and made a very good hit. And he made an excellent play. He's in the alley, and he's got the pitch man. But look at all the orange jerseys. My goodness. Talk about running the football. That is strong right there. That's a coaching reel.
That's a coach's dream. I was about to say, you think they're going to use that and loop it a few times?
Boy, oh boy. That's some activity there.
Rally to the ball.
Yep.
So third and goal from the 7.
Watch right here. A little pick action going on.
Rolling to his strong side. And in trouble. And down. Robinson gets him.
Well, you can't throw the ball from your backside. So I think it answers the question what you do on 4th down, when on 3rd down you lose about 12 or 14 yards. Robinson has got so much strength, so much hand strength. It separates from blocks. And it all unfolds well. Everybody takes their responsibilities in the zone coverage. And watch Robinson right here. He's matched up on a running back. Right. That's no matchup.
Mismatch on Quentin Smith.
Yep, and Robinson just, I mean, he didn't really even have to collision Smith to get the separation.
Now Landry for the 37-yard field goal. It's up and the Owls are on the board. So there goes the shutout. Brennan Landry, a senior from Lafayette, Louisiana, but preventing the touchdown. Robinson had a lot to do with that. 5:49 to play in the third. It's still Texas by 40. Continue to celebrate the 10th anniversary season of the Big 12 Conference. A guy that was worth an entire draft class. Ricky Williams, the former Texas Longhorn, is Ramon Taylor from his own 3. Big lane, 25-30, and then is dropped at the 35. Well, we're going to see some of the reserves, including Matt Nordgren, the backup quarterback. Vince Young's night is done. Dave Lapham, Jim Knox. What a night it's turned out to be. Our Nissan game summary, especially if you're a Longhorn fan. Jamal Charles, almost the freshman rushing record. What a night for Charles. True freshman Vince Young didn't need to do much. Almost as many yards on the ground as through the air. Rice with only 123 yards so far in total offense. Nordgren takes over at quarterback. Melton's the running back, and the Bull takes it for 2. He had a couple of touchdowns opening night against southeastern Louisiana. And I was right the first time, southwestern Louisiana. The Raging Cajuns from Lafayette. And it's going to be 2nd and 8. Nordgren, a senior quarterback from Bishop Lynch High School in Dallas. Not many attempts before this season, but with the way Vince Young is playing, he's going to get some mop-up duty in the 4th quarter of games. Quick one. And on the outside, the wide receiver, Gatewood.
Passes to number 1 Terrell Gatewood.
Rick Davis is going to be happy about tonight's performance, the offensive coordinator, because he went 2 tight ends a lot with a 1-back set with Charles. And he's gone 2 backs, have the fullback leading, downhill rushing, and he felt like he needed to brush that aspect of it up, the power running game for the Big 12 conference play. And there's Greg right here, right behind the post. And he's going to like what he sees there, because Texas ran the ball very, very well out of those formations.
Nordgren out of the gun. Here comes the blitz. A little too tall for Gatewood. So 3 and out with a punt coming up. And Rice is going to get the football back. You could read the blitz. They tipped it off early. It sailed on Nordgren.
Siptak's an effort guy. He works on that edge, and he's pretty relentless coming off of that edge. Is he big enough to play in the National Football League? That's the question. He's 6'2", 255, definitely a tweener.
This is only the 3rd punt of the game for the Longhorns. And once again, Rice making a mistake. It's going to be inside the 5-yard line as the Longhorns corralled it downfield with good coverage. Richmond McGee with the punt. Looks like we're walking through the Coliseum tunnels. Instead, it is Memorial Stadium, Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium here in Austin, Texas. The Coliseum is going to be filled in downtown Los Angeles tonight. And with good reason, with the way the Trojans have played over the last few years. What a run, Pete Carroll. It's very, and not that Mac has a national championship like Pete Carroll has in back-to-back seasons at USC, but the momentum of the programs, there's a lot of similarities right now between USC and Texas.
Yeah, you're right about that.
First Down Line brought to you by Overstock.com. Your online outlet is all about the O at Overstock.com.
Pete Carroll and USC, you have to tip your cap to them. In the era of parity, 85 scholarships, there wasn't supposed to be a dynasty. I mean, you weren't supposed to be able to win back-to-back national championships and go for a third. 3 has never happened, and they're doing it in a time when it wasn't supposed to happen 2 times in a row, and they already did that.
Well, Texas is called a timeout. Their first of the second half. So each team with 2 remaining. Warm nights in the Lone Star State. You would think it's the dead of summer instead of, well, almost into the late part of September, early October. But nobody's complaining. The Texas Longhorns, number 2 in the nation. What a run Mack Brown has had here in his 8th year running this program.
We just saw a shot of Kenny Hatfield, and you know, Kenny wanted to win the second half. He told his team, go out and try to win the second half. Well, right now in the 3rd quarter, it's 3-3. 42-0 the first 2 quarters. Well, with 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, it's a 3-3 football game in this quarter.
After the timeout, it's going to be 2nd and 9. The snap is on the ground. Clements did a good job. Just sit on it. Don't take a chance. So it'll be 3rd and about a dozen coming up. Well, it's interesting in the recruiting process, talking about the similarities between Texas and USC. And USC's got the tradition working for it, like Texas. Boy, the Heisman winners, when you walk in to Heritage Hall on the USC campus and you see those Heisman trophies,
right?
It's pretty impressive. And you bring a recruit in there, and I would think it's very similar because there's such a great sell when you bring a kid down here to Austin, Texas, where Earl Campbell performed and others. Now, on 3rd and long, just a desperation toss to avoid a safety. And we'd like to welcome our friends, FSN, up in the Bay Area. We know it's a little bit cooler up in the San Francisco Bay Area than here in Austin, Texas tonight. Game time temperature in the 90s. Joel Myers, Dave Lapp, and Jim Knox. The matchup between Texas and Rice, as we anticipated. Texas doing everything efficiently, almost looking like a pro squad against a college squad tonight.
And Rice was in an unenviable position. 3rd and 12, and you're a spread option team. You know, you're on your 3-yard line snapping the ball 3rd and 12. You don't really have a passing attack to combat that down and distance situation.
The defensive back for the Longhorns waiting for the punt. Aaron Ross will take it to the 42 and almost broke it. Talk about good footwork.
Really?
Hot stepping. Down inside the 35, Mike Goldberg. All right, Mike, and let's face it, a lot has to do with the overall success at the end of the season, down the stretch of your team.
Sure. And Reggie,
that's Charles Woodson about that.
And Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart may split some votes on it.
Melton lowering his shoulder down to the 30, close to the 29. And I think that kind of momentum has a lot to do with the Heisman vote.
Sure it does. You know, and if your football team wins every week, you're gonna get the notoriety, the recognition that's well deserved. I mean, individual honors come with the success of your football team. The only Heisman Trophy winner that played for a losing football team was Paul Hornung, but he kicked, he ran for touchdowns, threw for touchdowns, kicked field goals, extra points. He was a one-man wrecking crew at Notre Dame.
And it didn't stop after his playing days.
Absolutely.
Melton, that's what we love about him. Weaving his way to a first down all the way inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Rodney Gordon on the stop.
You get the big fella moving now with a little body lean. Whew. Melton, he'll make some yards. Got a little problem here, hanging that right arm. Not looking real good as Tony Hill's coming off the sideline under his own power. But watch Big Melton. Nice job, double chip off to the linebacker level. Everybody's sealed up. Now Melton just starts trying to run through some people. Took 3 to bring him down, the big fella.
So Hill, they tried to get him over to the sideline. He went down to a knee. And Siptak, well, 8 sacks, led the WAC last year. This is his first year, his final season. It's going to be after the long run by Melton from inside the 15. First down for the Longhorns. Nordgren, his second series of quarterback, Ramons Taylor. Interesting running right with the ball in his left hand down to the 10 for a gain of 4. Jim Knox, let's head down.
That's tough. I mean, you don't want to have a fracture or something like that. I mean, you can play with it. They can put a soft cast on it. You can pad it up and play, but you know, we don't even know what's wrong yet at this point. So to suppose prematurely is the wrong thing to do.
Nordgren out of the gun. And Ramons Taylor shifting his field, spinning away. Did he get there? Yes. Touchdown, Texas.
Well, I'll tell you, we talked about it in the opener. When you have Taylor, Charles, and Young on the field at the same time, that is fast, faster, fastest. I mean, that is incredible team speed. And when you put those 3 weapons out there in the Big 12 Conference, that's going to have a lot of defensive coordinators sweating. He makes this is all on his own. The play's not designed to go where he ran it, but he saw the opportunity, the opening, and he knew that he could accelerate. And he accelerated all the way across the goal line. Great play.
Pino for the point. Now this kid, they're hoping Taylor is it's hooked. That's me on the first tee. As Taylor, they're hoping he is going to be a Reggie Bush. That's a sophomore from Temple, Texas, at 5'11", 195. And I mentioned that because they talk about what he can do in all areas of the game. So we'll find out. But he got the score. They missed the extra point, so it's 51-3. Oh, as a keeper.
Definitely a keeper.
I think John Cameron Swayze was there.
And Froggy was a keeper. Froggy could do it all. I mean,
wouldn't you love to meet a guy by the name of Froggy anyway?
Kermit's got nothing on him. I'll tell you that.
Minute 34 to play in the third. It's now 51-3. We bring the best out in these games, don't we? 60-3 our first time here 2 weeks ago.
Boy, the Horns, they hang a half a honey on everybody so far when we've been down here.
Downs back deep along with Knox. And will he bring it back?
Jim
Downs.
Knox? Is that Jim?
Marcus. Fielder. So the Rice Owls will have it at their own 20-yard line. And Johnson has done a good job. Greg Johnson, the junior, has kicked off in the absence. McGee's tweaked. Something in his leg, and he can handle the punting. He cannot handle the placements of the kicks now.
Anything across his body, bringing his leg across his body bothers him, but he can swing it straight like a punt.
Is this the year of the quarterbacks of the Big 12? Because it is amazing.
There's no doubt
what we're going to be watching this season. This is just the beginning. And Hodges, a fifth-year senior starter again for Mike Leach. Give me a break. Now on first down. Nothing there. A yard maybe. Back to the quarterbacks, though. And we've been talking about Vince Young, and there's a couple that are the cream of the crop, and Reggie McNeil, incomplete. He's right there at the top of the list.
He rushed for over 100 yards today to go with his 348 passing. He rushed for a touchdown, so 6 touchdowns and almost over 450 yards of offense. And Brad Smith, we know about him.
Look at Brett Myers' numbers.
Yeah, Brett Myers is just, and I'll tell you what, at the Big 12 meetings, that was the young man that impressed me the most. He's got something to say and says it well. He is a special guy.
I sat down with Joel Klatt, Colorado. I'll get to that in a moment. After the gain of the yard, 2nd and 9. Clement, good move. Gets the first down and runs out of bounds. And sitting down with Joel Klatt, who got married over the summer. Talk about a mature, impressive guy.
No question. Well, he's one that played minor league baseball, and he is, a little bit older. He's the more mature guy on the student body in general. And,
right.
And he is the guy that they all gravitate toward. Brett Myers the same way. When you have your quarterback that's got that type of personality where people automatically gravitate toward him, and you couple that with when he plays and makes plays in the field, now it's gold. I mean, they'll follow him through anywhere, through thick and thin, believe me.
On first down, Clement hangs on, pays at the end of the run as he's put down. Aaron Lewis, a true freshman from Albuquerque, on the stop. We're winding our way down to the end of the third quarter. One more snap for the Rice Owls. Trailing 51-3. It's got to be tough. New conference. You open against UCLA, you lose by 42, 63-21.
And the bench is now emptied. I mean, Texas has backups in at every position on defense.
Clement buried early. He had no option that time. He did a good job just to hang on. Penetration by Drew Kelson, who forced that fumble to strip it away from Zwick last week against Ohio State on maybe the biggest play of that game. So that's the end of the third. No shock so far. Through 51-3 are the number 2 team in the nation. You're watching College Football Saturday. It's all presented by Kia. It's early as far as they're concerned in Austin, Texas. Welcome back. Big 12 Conference football, all presented by Kia Sarah on FSN, continues from Austin, Texas. And now, in trouble, Clement just throws it away outside of the pocket. He didn't have a choice.
Joel, we talked about this in the Louisiana Lafayette game. You have guys from Texas that are getting snaps, and they're trying to capitalize. These are parade high school All-American players themselves. And they were all-state players, so it's not like Rice is getting a break. They got guys coming in off the bench that have fresh legs, and they're good football players. They're just behind players that are a little more experienced, and I mean, it's very competitive for playing time down here at Texas, and they want to get their share. It's not going to be easy for Rice.
Boston area guy going to punt away again, and that's Jared Scruggs. Quan Cosby. Another true freshman. Boy, they've already used 7 true freshmen over the first 2, and a couple more tonight. Off the side of his foot, inside the 30, the one hopper. Crosby from the 20. Stiff arms his way to the 30. A nice block and good return. He's got a return better than 20 yards out past the 40-yard line. So another time onto the field. We'll come right back to Austin. Opening minute of the 4th quarter with the number 2 team in the nation through Texas. Although they are starting to filter out now, fortunately for all of us. 82,000 at the start tonight at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium.
Well, the 2 games that we've seen, Joel, they certainly deserve the number 2 ranking. They've outscored the opponent in 7 quarters, 114-6. Between the Louisiana Lafayette game, 60 to was it 60-3?
Yes, and more than the scoring, Dave, what they've done defensively in 52 snaps for Rice, they've only got 138 yards tonight. Melton taking on the linebacker, gain of about 4. Dr. Pepper, game break time, fortunately for all of us once again. Mike Goldberg, what's the latest? Yeah, but we haven't seen him throw the ball yet, and that's where Vince really improved. So could Bush throw the football? Well, I guarantee he's going to have a chance before the end of the year on a reverse or an option toss. Melton barrels his way to another first down pass at 25 to the 26. And well, Vince Young, the story, of course, after the 3 games for the Texas Longhorns, talked to him earlier about his Heisman candidacy and what he thinks about all the speculation regarding his Heisman hopeful.
Right now, I'm not really just into the Heisman right now. It's like in the back of my mind right now. I'm just all about my teammates right now, trying to make us be the best team in NCAA right now.
Yeah, they're not too far from it.
And you got to believe him, because he is spreading the wealth.
He's hit so many receivers. He had 6 involved in the opener, 6 last week, 5 so far today have caught balls. So he's spreading the ball around. Let's head downstairs. Noxie.
After that game against Ohio State, came back and they were like rock stars around campus, but he made sure each member of the team held everything in proper perspective. He went around and said, hey, we're taking one game at a time, and it's that kind of attitude that's going to get the Longhorns possibly all the way to that national championship game. And you talk about rock stars. How about Limas Sweed? Did you hear the story, Joel and Dave, about Limas Sweed? He came back after that game-winning catch. First off, he had 40 missed cell phone calls, 30 text messages. Then Monday during class, his teacher asked him to do a little show and tell. Get up there and tell us about your game touchdown winning catch against Ohio State. So most of his class was taken up with Limas Sweed giving the lecture, I guess, that day, guys.
Yeah, but his answer, Noxie, was, I'm just thinking about Rice, which speaks to your point, 1 week at a time.
Throwing for the first down. It looked like it was going to be automatic for Nate Jones, but he didn't spin around. He's wrapped up by Apt. And Raines over there as well. Well, Vince Young, we talked about this in the opener. A week after the Rose Bowl, he had all his wide receivers out here and he was throwing.
Right.
It was almost like 7-on-7 drills the way he was throwing the football. So he didn't relax even after the biggest win of his young career. It motivated him.
Yeah, and during the course of the summer, when they had their workouts, the first workout, he put on the board, anybody that wants to beat Ohio State, meet me tonight for some throwing. And he got a heck of a turnout.
Brandon King, young man from Moss Point, Mississippi, will stay away from it off the side of the foot.
That's going to be an illegal formation on the Texas punt team, Joel. They were running around before the punt, didn't get set for a full second, and probably didn't have 7 on the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's something required with 11:21 to play in a game like this.
Yeah, they're all over the place, running around and not getting set before the snap of the football. Mac doesn't like it.
Not a ton of penalties, though, on either side.
Well, you can see what's going on here, and here we come. Get set for full second. 7 on the line of scrimmage. Don't think so. Have to be set for a second before the snap of the football. They get flagged for procedure.
An illegal formation on the kicking team. There are only 6 players on the line of scrimmage. The penalties decline. First down.
And it was a short wobbler by McGee, so they'll take it at the 29, and we'll take a timeout and come right back to the final 11:29. Now, both get out of here healthy. That's the key down the stretch.
with greater frame strength, more pulling power, and a higher safety rating than Chevy, Dodge.
Recipient is now a graduate assistant here in Texas.
On first down, the carry via Benobi. A sophomore from Corpus Christi, his first carry. Nothing doing there. It'll be 2nd and 10 as Robert Killebrew into the stop. So the reserve needed an opportunity. And as we mentioned, a lot of backups for Texas are going to get that chance. And right now, as Clement runs the offense, the young man from San Antonio's Alamo Heights High School. Ken Hatfield doing the same. Out of the reach of the wide receiver on that side of the field.
Well, this is a good situation for the Longhorns. It looked like the only guy that came out of the game worse for wear is Big Hills, the offensive lineman, had that problem. But they played a very physical game at Ohio State. Now you play a little over a half with your number ones, and nobody comes out of it in serious physical shape in terms of the problem.
Now there's game faces.
And
Did you see those drummers?
And you have the rest of this game and all of next week, the bye week. Max said he's going to work the younger guys, let a lot of the older guys rest. You have 2 weeks before your next game.
Clement going for Dillard. Dillard did it again. Boy, he's shown good balance and hands. He's got it down to the 26-yard line. There's a bright spot for the Owls to build on. Good throw as well.
He's a player. I mean, he's a competitor. Made a nice contested catch here.
This time jump by the defensive back, Brandon Foster.
A little bit early on the jump, but he had great position. Just didn't see the ball well enough, and Dillard made him pay.
So at 51-3, 10.5 to play. Chance to get into the end zone for the Rice Owls for the first time tonight.
This is like preseason in the NFL. Only these games count on the schedule. The non-conference games, you're left for a week and get into your Big 12 conference.
Tough running inside by John Wall. Give him about 2.5, call it 3 yards. Down to the 27. First down line brought to you by Overstock.com. Visit Overstock.com today. Start saving. It's all about the O at Overstock.com.
You know, what you look at is your non-conference schedule is one little mini season. Now you get into your Big 12 conference schedule. That's the main meat and bulk of your season. And then you hope there's a postseason game, you know, where you get in a bowl game and you go from there.
And that's why Mack Brown likes the bye next week, because then he can point towards the start of the conference schedule.
Absolutely.
He's got Missouri at Mizzou in Columbia on October 1st.
And you talk about a couple of quarterbacks that can kill you 2 ways. Vince Young and Brad Smith.
Right.
I mean, that'll be a classic clash right there of athletic guys with the ball in their hands.
And Smith playing free and relaxed like he did a couple of years ago.
I thought at the Big 12 meetings, the look on his face and the way he talked, he was determined to show that last year was the blip on the screen and not his first couple.
Are we going to score on Mizzou against Troy State earlier this evening? On the run, good look, and Aranda on the receiving end. Well, the redshirt freshman out of Alamo Heights High School in San Antonio, Chase Clement, looking pretty strong now.
He's got a good arm. They say that he is the guy that has the better throwing arm, and you can tell that's the case out here tonight. And up front, you have to make your blocks, let the outside man go. You have to protect the quarterback from the inside out, and then the quarterback has to make one miss and make a play, and that's exactly what Clement did. I mean, he basically had Brandon Johnson, the linebacker, coming right in his face off the slot.
First down, fullback barges his way to the 3-yard line. John Wall, a sophomore from Dallas. They get a first down just inside the 1. More like 2nd and goal, though, from the 3.
And this is where Texas, the number ones, have shown a tremendous amount of pride. You know, it's been first and goal or red zone. Red zone defense, can't say enough about their sudden change. You know, defending after a turnover last week against Ohio State, ultimately winning the game.
Wall again, human bowling ball that time. He's outside of the 1, so it's going to be 3rd and less than a yard.
Wall ran into a wall and he started spinning. And you're right, though. They
He's
can
low.
They can get a first down. It could be a first and goal without scoring a touchdown here.
It's tough duty. Boy, serious congestion. 5'10", 210 pounds, though. And a lot of you are going to be joining USC in Arkansas, as that's ready for kick in Southern California. The rest of you will stay with us and then join that game in 7 minutes and 45 seconds. The completion of the matchup here in Austin. Clement on the sneak.
I thought he'd get in.
I did too.
If he didn't, it's first and goal.
He's in. Touchdown, Rice. So the Owls finally get in the end zone, and it comes with the inside of 7.5 to play.
Welcome into our college football studios in Long.
They scored the last 9 to close it out.
Start by number 83 of the offense.
Never flinched. They never panicked. Nobody was disgusted. Nobody was disappointed. They just played hard.
You know, it was impressive when we met with Mac. He said they looked the same when they were up 10-0.
Right.
And when they were down late in the fourth quarter. They had the same look on their face.
No wide eyes. They had good answers to everything. Nobody was like overwhelmed. And they battled. And they battled. And they scored the last 9 points and won the game on the road in a tough, hostile environment.
Landry for the point after. Good hold by Scruggs on a snap that was behind him. And Clement has to be pleased with what developed on that.
Nice serve.
9-play, 70-yard drive. For the Longhorns' 30th consecutive sellout here at home.
Yeah.
The marching band of the Rice Owls. And are they? You don't even tell them about the scoreboard. They're not paying attention. They are having so much fun out there. And do we have a Conehead leading the band as well?
Yeah, he's up on the ladder. he's climbed the ladder. He's climbed the pinnacle. There it is, Conehead. Whoop.
Why do they remind me of the Stanford band for some reason?
Oh,
And then during the break, they were out of control having fun.
He's got a little rhythm, that Conehead.
Taylor is back along with Aaron Ross, and it's going to be deep for Taylor. He'll stay right there. And especially after what happened last week.
He learned a lesson. You're right.
Well, we look back on the series.
Bashful about sticking his nose in there. He is a complete running back.
So Charles done for the night. Only a couple of yards off the freshman rushing record here at Texas. Well, not a bad average either. 16 for 189. Hello.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Melt. And he's right at the first down marker. Now, we've been talking about the rivalry, and it hasn't been won lately, obviously. This is going to be the 29th consecutive win for Texas, but here's to give you an idea. Private, small school, Rice Owls, not even 5,000, but they've got 285 acres. Now, that's some kind of campus.
Yeah.
Spread them out. 50,000 here in enrollment, undergraduate for Texas, 350 acres. It's interesting the way things evolve in the respective schools.
That's true. That's true. And Rice has got an uphill battle. I mean, obviously, it's certainly a fine academic institution, as is Texas. As is Texas. Texas is a tough institution to qualify to get into as a high school senior as well. You have to have a great GPA and board scores. Rice is just incredible to get into.
And your money's well spent, as we can see here with these kids.
Yeah, right on.
What a life. They're not leaving. The adults are gone. The student body is not moved. And by the way, Jim Knox is among them. Yes. At 31. First and 10 Longhorns. Short gain on the carry. Obadiah. Missouri City, Texas, redshirt freshman. Not much. Maybe a yard and a half, too. Jim Knox, you with the student body?
Yeah, Agman a better place, Joel.
I don't want to hear that.
Buddy.
I don't want to hear it.
That's right. Dehydrated. They put it in there, put their players, the jacket on them, and all of a sudden it cools them off. They get hydrated by taking in some fluids. And so far, it worked on Jamal Charles, didn't it, tonight?
Sure did. That does look like something from Nassau, though, Knoxie. It's unbelievable.
Who is the man with the cape?
You know what? Knoxie looked like he could jump in the old space shuttle.
I think the cape weighed more than Knox.
You know, Joel, when I look at Melton and I think about Charles, I think about Thunder and Lightning. I think of like Warwick Dunn and Allstott down at Tampa Bay. You have the big freshman back and the jackhammer-footed quick freshman back. That boy's big. 270-pound tailback.
That's the understatement of the year.
He can thump you, and Charles can make you miss.
And then he's got those little baby steps, Bob. And look what he does there. He makes him miss in the backfield with the choppy little ones. And then he accelerates again. Flag down to the play as he takes it to the 46 for about 4.
I think Rice might have been offside. Jumped the snap.
Offsides, number 92
right over
of the
nose.
defense.
John
Penalty is
Cooper,
5
the
yards.
senior.
Replay first down.
Houston Semper.
I think comparison to Jerome Bettis is good for Melton. He's got the feet like Jerome Bettis, light-footed, big fella. And right here is where there's going to be the early movement. And
Look at the baby steps.
boom, into the line of scrimmage we go before the snap of the football, and really almost
So
intercepts
much
the
for the
handoff.
baby steps.
Yeah, he had frozen baby steps.
Melton again. Well, yeah, with this kind of heat, big guy started the night at 270. He'll be at 260, but he'll put it back on later at the pizza parlor.
Melton is he doesn't look, he carries that 270 very, very well. In fact, I believe it was big right tackle Justin Blaylock. I think I read where he said, I know what he weighed in, and I was right behind him. And I looked at the scale. He stepped on the scale. It said 276. That is one big. They thought he might be a tight end or a defensive end, but no, he shows that he can play tailback.
At the end of this game, don't forget USC and Arkansas. They're joining that game that started at the Coliseum in downtown Los Angeles. Out of the short gain for Obanaya. It'll be 2nd and 9 with the clock moving inside of 4 minutes to play. Barry Tompkins at the Coliseum ready with that call.
You know what was interesting, too, with respect to Charles? Mac was saying he was watching the high school all-star game, and Charles dropped a pass. And Mac said, well, we know we have a good running back, but I guess he doesn't catch the ball very well. And he said, you know, I was guilty of making a rash decision because he came on campus, he caught everything. And he's a great catch out of the backfield. He has tremendous hands.
On 2nd and 9. Flag down in a dead ball foul. And when you talk about Melton at 276, there is the possibility as he gets toned and he works with the trainers here and the conditioning experts on the staff at Texas. Wait for the
Prior to
call.
the snap, a false start by number 87 of the offense. Penalty is 5 yards, and it's still 2nd down.
He's going to be losing weight as he gains tone.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes you have muscle mass weighs more. They jumped early up front, and it was the tight end at the end of the line of scrimmage before the snap of the football. Just barely before it. Almost timed it up perfectly. But he was just a skosh early.
But he's got some baby stuff there, and I don't want to call it baby fat, but he will lose some of it.
Yeah, I think though muscle weighs more than fat does. And, I think he's just a big body guy.
Nordgren almost got away. So it'll be 3rd and long. Jim Knox down on the sideline. Let's head downstairs.
Okay, Joe, going to answer a couple emails. Joe.
Completion and first down, Nate Jones. He got it down to the 35. I want to check those emails when we get off the air.
I like the pom-pom goals. They look better than T.O. with pom-poms. No doubt about that.
Something's wrong with you if you don't. 2:05 to play.
I wonder how you try out for the pom-pom girls. I'm not saying I want to try out. I'm just curious how you get after that.
No, it's late, Dave. But Melton.
Big Melton.
He'll run out the clock. It'll keep moving down to the 28. Gain of a little more than 7.
That's his assignment. Mac Brown put him in the game. He said, Melton, melt the clock. And tick, tick, tick away it goes. 1 minute and 30 seconds or thereabouts.
Yeah, he's got 75 yards now on 14 carries. Henry Melton.
I'm telling you, during the course of their careers, don't be surprised to see him at fullback and Charles at tailback and a little thunder and lightning like Allstott and Warwick Dunn when they were together down in Tampa Bay. It'd be pretty impressive duo right there on the field at the same time.
What a work done good on Monday night. New quarterback for the Longhorns, who just came into the game for that snap. They've got Eric Jackson in there. At least that's who they list at number 13. And it's actually now Matt McCoy.
He's the real McCoy.
Not Colt McCoy, but Matt McCoy.
You're going to redshirt Colt.
Yes.
Oh.
On the errant one, picked up and saved. But our Dr. Pepper, player of the game, Jamaal Charles. No surprise there. 16 carries, 189 yards, and all of it in the first half of the first series of the second half. And that is going to be the final snap of a very productive game for the Longhorns.
And he just has the incredible vision, the ability to cut back, and he cuts back, designed to go off left tackle, cuts it all the way out to the right, and accelerates inside the pylon. He's got it all. Balance, physical, great tackle, make you miss in space, complete running back.
We are going to take a final time out. Come right back to Austin, Texas. Wrap things up. Get ready for the USC Trojans and the Arkansas Razorbacks following the Longhorns' big win over Rice. Dave, they did it the way they wanted to do it. And that was Charles on the ground.
And I think the 1-2 punch of Jamaal Charles and Vince Young is going to cause people a lot of problems. They've got speed to burn.
So the Longhorns get a week off. They are now 3-0, ready for the conference schedule, and it starts in 2 weeks at the University of Missouri. Coming up next, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and the #1 USC Trojans playing host to the Arkansas Razorbacks. For Dave Lapp, Jim Knox, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us. Impressive. It was the #2 team of the nation, Texas, taking care of business tonight and taking it out on Rice to the tune of 51-10. So long, everybody, from Austin, Texas.